going to have to get more whatsoever, and then you fuck off.
But I'm not.
So, yes, you are. That's exactly what you're doing. That's exactly what you're going to be doing. But not once have I ever, so I'm going to have to get more, what's it about looking after myself, but you have to get this place in order.
Self-sufficient.
Because I won't be able to do it.
You said you want me to move out, though, because I'm a weirdo. That's what you said.
First of all.
That's pretty.
First of all. Of course I don't want, but I want that pulling you away.
Aww.
But I want that pulling you
Hang
but
on.
I want you to, of course I don't want you to move out, obviously. But I want you to start pulling your weight.
Aww.
Well, exactly, but you don't want that, so that's why I said, well, fuck off then. Because you're of no use here.
See, there you go. You just want to use me. See what? I'm only good if I'm only good around here if I'm useful. See, it's all about give and take, like you say. About everybody uses everybody.
I am not using you. Right? Okay. When you go and stop laughing, Kirsty, because I am fucking serious.
I know.
I am so serious. I'm bursting. We are two people in this situation. One of them not that good at helping doing. Look at the stuff that I have done and do that I really shouldn't do. See what I mean? It's just a laugh to you. You're a 31-year-old.
Exactly.
You're a 31-year-old child.
What's so dirty then?
I don't know why it's funny.
You cannot continue to keep this.
Continue 3 times. Let's listen to that properly.
I don't know why it's funny.
You cannot continue. To keep this happy. You can't. And two people living together and one cannot do it, the other has to pull the weight. I have done everything for you that a parent can do for a child. I have brought you up, I educated you, which is more than some parents do. I have actually educated you for nothing.
It's not for nothing.
I have educated you for nothing.
The purpose of
You have a roof over you. Do you know what, Kirsty? Let me explain something. If you're a proper adult,
This is how it's.
if you're a proper adult,
This is how it's.
I'd be able to have a proper conversation.
I'm trying to have a proper conversation.
No, you're not.
I am.
She yells and screams at me.
Because the purpose of a parent is to sort of.
My parents, Kirsty, weren't the best parents, as I discovered only later on in life. But you know what? I would never, ever have treated them the way you treat me. Never. And if they weren't able to look after themselves, I would have been there. If I was able, I would be there looking after them.
Right, in the next voice recording, she said that her mother, for the last 2 years of her life, looked after herself and did everything while struggling with breathing problems and osteoporosis, which is brittle bone syndrome, and other problems, because I don't know what the full extent of Grandma's problems. And my mum apparently knew this because she knew enough to guilt trip me about it, saying, well, you know, if you leave, I'm going to end up like my mum, struggling the last 2 years of my life and dying early. So she knew that her mum did struggle at the end of her life. But did she step in to be her carer? Like she's saying she would do it now. She said if her parents were struggling, she'd step in.
I would have been there. If I was able, I would be there looking after them.
Yeah, but she didn't. Her mother needed help. And then in the end, Grandad needed help. And both the doctor and somebody else, I don't know whether it was Grandad or someone else, said that it would be better if Grandad moved in here so that he would be closer to family and my mum could look after him. But she didn't want that. She refused. But she said it's because Grandad would stress her out too much. But apparently I'm supposed to take on the burden of my mum stressing me out while doing everything for her. No. I'm going to point that out in the next...
Well, for you, you're a righteous person. I guess I'm
It's
not.
not just being about a righteous person.
Why didn't she then? Why didn't she look after her parents? At the end of Grandma's life, she needed looking after. And at the end of Grandad's life, he needed looking after. But did she do it? No. She left them both to it.
Daisy, just a minute.
I'm a different person.
It's not about being a righteous person. It's about appreciating that they fed me, clothed me, they put a roof over my head.
All right, so you're supposed to stick by toxic people. And from what I heard, Grandma and Grandad were toxic to her when she was growing up. And when she was older and dealing with abusive partners and stuff, they didn't help her out. And they even forced her to be with said abusive partners and get an abortion at the same time. Even though the very reason why they were forcing her to be with this abusive person was because he got her pregnant. But then forced her to get an abortion after all that. Well, you don't stick with toxic people. So she's of the mindset that it doesn't matter how your family treat you, you've got to stick by them because they're family. And that's a really bad mindset because that's how people get trapped in situations they don't want to be in, like me and like her. So because she's quite willing to deal with these toxic people's these toxic family members in the name of loyalty, then that's where you're going wrong, isn't it? I'm not doing that because I've learned that you don't have to do that. So if I don't want to look after my mum because she's a toxic person, I shouldn't have to do it. Of course, in her mind, she's not toxic or abusive, so she doesn't realise that what she's doing is wrong, and the way she's treating me and shouting at me all the time and criticising me is a bad thing, and it's probably making things worse. Maybe she's nicer to me. You never know. Might be better.
I was warm. I lacked for nothing.
But a child doesn't owe a parent anything. They don't have to, go from the parent looking after them for 18 years or whatever to then
right. So I want you to explain that to Indians and Chinese.
Yeah, they'd be all right with that. They would be all right with that too, because that happens in a lot of their families too, because they, in their culture, have to look after family members and stick by family no matter what. So they also end up being sucked in with toxic people, having to deal with toxic family members and get treated like shit, because said family members might take advantage of the fact that they have to look after them, or they'd be shunned by their religion or their culture. So a lot of them get sucked into it and trapped in there as well. So if I did go and explain to them, they'd probably be quite happy with that, because that happens a lot with them too.
Then go over there to them Chinese people and say exactly what you said to me.
Yeah, I think they'd appreciate it.
It's only England where they don't look after their parents.
It's not about that. It's about them it being their entire world. You know what I mean? Like,
I couldn't explain to my mum.
Going back, forget about all
ends
this.
up being like
Let's
their
wipe
entire
it
world.
all.
They probably still do their own thing and have their own life.
Because you are who you are, Kirsty, it's better that you leave.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, we've
made
the decision. We've made the decision that it's best if you leave, and I have to cope any way I can in my own home.
Yeah, okay.
So therefore,
Perfect.
seeing as and only fair, nothing to do with being a parent. You made this shit. You clean it up, and I will do the best that I can to clean what I can.
Can I make a suggestion?
No.
No, but it's really important.
Right.
In fact, they're both really important to me. One is, I don't want to move out. I don't want to be chucked out before Christmas, because it's going to take me forever to do this. It's probably going to take me into the next year to do it. Right. First of all, and secondly, there's loads of arrangements that have to be made Like, how am I going to get my poof all the way to Wales? I need to know how to get my poof, because I'm not living without my poof. I need my poof.